Hey, it's good to see you. Hello, and welcome to this little video, little change of scenery tonight, back in our old haunt, which means there might be a little more background noise than usual, but I just wanted to mix it up, so here we are. The bed, we have Debbie here, we have Eloise there, the spotted whale, and we're gonna get into it. So tonight, I wanted to share with you 4 books. 1, 2, 3, 4 books that I got somewhat recently. I got them a little bit ago, but I broke my TBR, like my new reads, into 2 chunks. So I went through the first chunk and had it on my shelf, and then I brought out the second chunk, put it on my shelf, and this is what I'm newly considering my TBR, my new books, my book haul. Even though I technically bought these a couple of months ago with some holiday money, some gift money. So we have a novel, a story collection, nonfiction, like an essay, and another novel. So let's get into it. The first book is Barefoot Doctor by San. It has a really beautiful green cover with yellow-green grass growing on it. Here we can see the name of the author, Sanjue. Translated from the Chinese by Karen Gernant, and Chen Ziping. I bought this book. Well, I really love Sanjue, first of all. But second of all, I bought this book at the recommendation of a friend. And I haven't read her in a while. If you're not aware, she's a Chinese writer. She writes novels and short stories, and she is startlingly strange in her writing. Sometimes it can feel disjointed, it can feel out of this world, it can feel often very unsettling, but not in the typical way. Unsettling in a more existential way, I'd say. She's a very special writer. There's no one else quite like her. So here on the back it says, in Yoon Village, herbalist Mrs. E lives with her husband at the foot of Neolan Mountain, where she gathers herbs to treat the villagers by day and studies medicine by night. As younger villagers observe Mrs. E and begin imitating her work, for example, planting gardens and studying the art of healing, they discover that the line dividing life from death is porous, and that the mountain is more mysterious than they knew. Drawing on her own experiences as a barefoot doctor, San Shui offers a novel that delights in the in-between spaces between the living and the dead, healer and sick, nature and us. I'm really looking forward to it. And I have to say, I'm not fully, I I don't fully know what a barefoot doctor is. I've not heard that term before. I mean, I can venture a guess, but based on the description of the story. But I'm really not sure. There are 22 chapters in this, such as Uncle Ma, the deceased Uncle Liangshan, Something Unpleasant, Aunt Yossi and her eccentric daughter-in-law, Gray's abnormal behavior, the turning point in Mia's life, Mia and Lohan go into action, etc., etc. Yeah, really looking forward to it, especially because my friend liked it so much. In fact, I'll say, and liked it so much that he decided to teach this book in his course. So yeah, I'm really excited to read it. Second, we have another book by San Shui. You guessed it. This one is called Mother River. This really beautiful amorphous shape here, in which there is blue and pink water, as though at sunrise or sunset, and some low mountains or rocks around it. There's a cat outside. And as promised, this is by translated by Karen. I can't tell if this is an RN or an M. I think it's an RN. You know, in some fonts it's hard to tell the difference. Karen Gernant and Jen something. So same translators as the other. Tell me that's not one of the best covers ever. I believe this one is a story collection. Here it says, from the winner of the 2015 Best Translated Book Award. I'm not sure what book she won that with, but it doesn't say. Okay, in Mother River, San Shui, one of China's most daring and visionary writers, invites us into a surreal landscape where reality is as fluid as a river itself. This collection of 13 stories weaves together vivid, dreamlike narratives that challenge our perceptions of time, identity, and existence. Through her signature blend of the absurd and the profound, San Shui explores the fragile boundaries between the known and unknown, between humanity and nature. In these tales, a man tries to chase down an elusive golden peacock, a woman communicates with mysterious shifting forms of light, and the river that runs through a small village seems to pulse with memories of its own. Surreal, provocative, and unique, Mother River reinforces San Shui's status as one of the most rewarding and complex writers working today, and a perennial favorite to win the Nobel Prize. So, between the descriptions of these two books, I think you can get a decent idea of just how strange her writing is. There are books by her I really love. I will say, I tried to read Five Spice Street and could not get through it at the time. I haven't tried to pick it up again recently. Maybe I'd have a better time with it now. I'm not even a more experienced reader or anything. It's just maybe it just wasn't the right time. So she can be challenging to read at times, just because she takes so many risks amazing and really unnerving in a really special way. So, I love that title page. Let's see if we can find a list of the stories in here. Here we have the contents. Mother River, Stone Village, Smog City, The Drummer Boy, The Neighborhood, The Young Man Who Loved to Think Deeply, Something to Do with Poetry, The Inside Story, The Lion King, and The Edge of the Marsh, Night in Xishuangbanna. The Goddess of Xishuangbanna. Love in Xishuangbanna. And then translator's acknowledgements. I just think this is such a beautiful cover. It's not why I got it, because I also love the writer, but love it. I'm obsessed. Okay. The third book I have for you tonight is not by Sanshui, I promise. It's not only Sanshui tonight. The third book, this one's like an extended essay that I hear reads really nicely, and it's quite long. You know, it's quite long. So this one is called This Little Art by Kate Briggs. I'm rewatching Twin Peaks right now, so that just makes me think of Bobby Briggs. This Little Art by Kate Briggs. So, like I said, it's quite long. A fair amount of footnotes. Yeah, it's like 350 pages. Font's not incredibly big. So it's a good amount of text for being considered. I think it's considered an essay, but it's a good amount of text. Okay. I'm like jumping ahead. I want to look at the contents, but let me read the back to you first. Confirmation of an essay. Because it begins, an essay with the reach and momentum of a novel. Kate Briggs's This Little Art is a genre-bending song for the practice of literary translation, offering fresh, fierce, and timely thinking on reading, writing, and living with the works of others. Taking her own experience of translating Roland Barthes's lecture notes as a starting point, the author threads various stories together to give us this portrait of translation as a compelling, complex, and intensely relational activity. She recounts the story of Helen Lowe Porter's translations of Thomas Mann and their posthumous vilification. She writes about the loving relationship between André Gide and his translator, Dorothy Bussey. She recalls how Robinson Crusoe laboriously made a table for him for the first time on an undeserted island. With This Little Art, a beautifully layered account of a subjective translating experience, Kate Briggs emerges as a truly remarkable writer, distinctive, wise, frank, funny, and utterly original. So, if you don't already know, I love translated literature. I love translated literature. If I can read literature in another language, I will. But one can only learn so many languages. And so I just think that translated literature, when done well, is such a gift and is so beautiful. It's so beautiful that we're able to access different voices, different points of view, different literary traditions, different cultural fabrics, and narrative traditions through the work of others, through the work of the translators. So I'm drawn often to translated literature. I think there is obviously so much good literature and so much good writing available in English, and good stories being published in English currently all the time. However, because I live in the States, I feel like I'm more prone to get caught up in like the hype cycle of like the season's latest book and the big marketing pushes from big publishing houses, and more often than not, I just don't find those books to be very good. There are good books in English being published, but I don't like hyped books in a way. And so with translated literature, not only am I getting unique stories from different literary traditions to my own, which is always edifying and mind and perspective expanding, sometimes mind bending in the case of Sancho, for example. I forgot how that sentence started, so I don't know how to end it. Yeah, not only am I experiencing art from elsewhere in a way that I find is very edifying, but because translated literature is translated, I find that there's this like vote of confidence in it. I think for translated literature doesn't pay much. Let me spoil that for you. First of all, so for someone to write something that moved many people or one person enough to then translate it, which is painstaking work that doesn't pay particularly well, I find those stories tend to be stories that are well written and that are more likely to stand the test of time. They tend to be very good. And so, yeah, I'm just drawn to translated literature, not exclusively, but it is definitely something I like very much. So, some geese outside, lots of stuff outside. All this to say, I was very curious about this book because it's by someone who translates literature about the act of translating literature, which again, like I said, can be very painstaking, certainly a lot of work. It can be very challenging, and it just is quite a labor of love, really, a labor of love and of love for art. Okay, I'm definitely rambling now, but all this to say, I can't wait to read this. I'm very excited to read this. Okay, finally, the fourth book is another novel. This one is Bel Canto, written on like a musical staff here by Anne Patchett. The only thing the only thing I've attempted to read by Anne Patchett is The Dutch House, which I thought was like pretty well written, and yet it failed to move me failed to interest me, and so I just stopped reading it. Just my personal experience. I've heard the opening to Commonwealth is amazing, so I do want to pick that one up, but yeah, I just really did not like the Dutch House. I DNF'd it. But at the end of last year, when I was with my family, my brother-in-law was reading this book, Bel Canto, and he was reading it because my sister had read it and really loved it. And I think it's about art and the power of art, and I just thought, I'm gonna give it a try, because if my brother-in-law liked it, maybe it has, I mean, he reads and he has good taste, but it just struck me that like maybe this had wider appeal, or it would reel me in a little bit more than the Dutch House did. So, let's see. Somewhere in South America, at the home of the country's vice president, a lavish birthday party is being held in honor of the powerful businessman, Mr. Hosokawa. Roxanne Koss, opera's most revered soprano, has memorized the international guests with her artistry. It is a perfect evening, until a band of gun-wielding guerrillas takes the entire party hostage. But what begins as a panicked, life-threatening scenario slowly evolves into something quite different. A moment of great beauty, as guerrillas and hostages forge unexpected bonds, and people from different continents become compatriots, intimate friends, and lovers. This quote's calling it like a love letter to art and beauty, and a subtly sly comedy of manners. Grace, beauty, elegance, magic. Yeah, so looking forward to it. I'll let you know how it goes. This edition, this copy has deckled edges, which is not my favorite. The texture feels nice, but it's when I go to flip through a book that I'm like, it's so chunky. Chunky. I would love to hear what you're reading now or have read recently, especially if you liked it, of course. But feel free to share what you didn't like. I mean, that's a part of the reading experience, is, yeah, being able to explore and express what you did and did not like and why, honing your taste, and having conversations with people who may agree with you or may have felt differently about it. It's all a part of it, you know. I hope that you are doing super, super, super well. And if you're not, that is okay too. I will talk to you very soon. And until then, good night. Good night.